What is up, guys? It is Wraith. I am back. So today we have an unbelievably special review for you to do. This is not something that you can find anywhere else. This is going to be a custom Joy Toy of the Emperor of Mankind. It's going to be an unbelievable review. I have been waiting for this figure since I put an order into this for WOG Toys, previously Cool Toys Club. And I want to send a special thank you to Loy for getting this done and getting this out to me as quick as you can. So I have wanted one of these figures since I saw a custom by them about a year ago, and especially since I've been getting all the Primarchs, it's only fitting that I get this and add this to my collection. So here is the box. I have not opened it. I have not seen him. I've opened it up to make sure it's actually the figure, because that would be quite embarrassing. But we're going to jump over to the review stand now. Let's go take a look at him. Let's unbox him. I'm super excited. Let's go! Alright guys, so we're back with the review stand. As you can see, we have the open box from WOG Toys with how they shipped it. So you guys are going to see this exactly as I see it, because I have just opened up some of the packaging here, which you'll see here in a second. So you can actually, I confirm that's actually the Emperor here in this. So let's pull out the pieces. So this is what I essentially pulled out, and then I actually saw that it looked like it was the Emperor figure from Cool Toys, because they didn't have any labels on this that it was from Cool Toys Club or anything. So here we go, nice, and you can see how it's packaged. Again, this is a custom figure from WOG Toys, formerly Cool Toys Club, and again, I had seen a custom figure of this last year and I was just blown away on Facebook. So yeah, and especially after I started to get, so I'm gonna guess in here looks like all of his parts, all of his miscellaneous extra things. I don't know what those are supposed to be right now. I can't really tell. There's some black little pieces there, but obviously we'll find out here in a second. And here it is. Wow, I'm really interested to see what they used for the buck for this figure, because when I had originally seen it, I think it was a McFarlane. Oh my god, dude, this figure looks, even in the packaging, I can't see it totally. It looks crazy. So, alright, so we got the Emperor figure out. Let's stop here for a quick second. Alright guys, and we're back here. So we can see the size of the packaging really quickly. Just to give you a scale comparison, here's Valdor and here's the Emperor that's hanging out inside of there. So yeah, so this, let's break them open. I'm super excited to get them open. Again, we got some extra pieces here. We'll open this up also in a little while and we'll check it out. So let's see. So first things first, the packaging on this. Oh my god, dude, he's got it looks like a cloth cape. That's what I'm thinking. So again, let's open this up. And so if you're wondering, price tag on this was, I think, $350, $400 was what the price was. So, oh my god. And again, I got my trusty knife from Zombie Tools. You can't actually get this. This one's, they retired it, so. But I needed a knife that was going to be perfect for reviews and has a really nice blade and a nice tip to be able to get through. And it's also short enough for me to be able to do these type of unboxings and reviews. Normally I do this stuff live, and I'm gonna do a live version of this later on tonight, which if you guys want to check it out, this will be going up I think on the weekend. So this is in the future. You guys are seeing this now. We've already done the live review at this point. So they packaged this really well. I'm probably gonna do a quick fast forward here. So here's going to be my first view and your first view of this figure. Oh my god. Look at the gold on this figure. And the satin red cloak. Oh my god. Wow. Holy crap. This is so shiny. Oh my god. So his pauldron came off, but it looks like it just pegs onto his shoulder. So, wow, yeah, and the cape. Oh wow, oh man, it's a satin red, and it has it's all piped throughout, so it's nice and oh man, this is amazing. You can see the emperor, you can see the claw. Oh my god, this is so great, and the articulation is nice and smooth on this. I guess this is a Horus figure. The legs look like Horus. So it looks like it's a combination. I'm just looking at this right now. Looking at this figure right now, it looks like it's a combination of parts here. I don't even know the feet. The feet look like they're too big. I don't know if these are custom parts or what the deal is. Oh man, I think this broke. Yeah, this broke. I believe it broke. Looks like it broke in shipping. That's a shame. I don't even see where it broke though. Oh, it just snapped off right here. Wonder if I can just glue that on. I'm probably gonna have to try. That is crazy. I don't know how that broke. This piece just snapped off. That sucks. I believe it broke. I'm not 100% sure. Wow. I mean, dude, other than the shoulder breaking off, and I'll contact Loy about this. Wow, the figure looks amazing. Holy crap. The head sculpt is great. The claw, let's just put this over to the side. We'll figure this out in a little while. I don't know if this is actually broken off or if there's a peg on the inside here that's missing. I don't know. Looks like, it feels like there should be like a peg or something. Because I don't think this is all one piece. It feels like there's a peg that it goes onto. Maybe inside the pieces there. Hopefully that's the case. And the hand, wow. So this is all sculpted one piece. Shit. So this is all, is this articulated? Yeah, this is articulated. Wow. So the fingers are not articulated like the Horus figure, but wow. Amazing. I feel like there's going to be a peg in there. The cloak looks amazing. You can see the fur around him. Wow. This is amazing. And we can see all of the, dude, this is the gold finger gold. This is wow, this is crazy. I cannot wait to show a comparison between this and Valdor and all of this type of gold makes Valdor makes them not look gold. This is such a crazy, like, deep gold color. And we can see here on the back, wow, even on the back side here, we can see some additional, it's not just all one flat gold color. There is some deeper hues in here, as well as a little bit of shading. We can see the darker shading here. Wow. We can see here how this is sitting on a, I don't know what that is. I guess that's a, I gotta be careful with this because this piece here looks a little bit, I don't know what kind, unless that's metal. I'm hoping it's metal because I don't want him to snap. But this looks crazy. His head sculpt looks amazing, dude. Wow, everything is articulated. His hands are articulated. His legs are articulated. These are all. This is not a malleable piece, a tiny bit, but it's definitely a hard plastic. It feels like a. I don't know if this is. I'm gonna assume this is 3D printed. I would assume. But the feet look crazy. Here's a shoulder pad on the left shoulder, or is this the right? This is the right shoulder. You can see the lion. Wow. Great paint sculpt work there. Again, this looks like it's 3D printed. I wonder if the entire figure is 3D printed. Crazy. You can see on here, here's the elbow. This is a little heavy for his claw. I would have liked it if this, if the digits were articulated. They're not. This is all one piece. But the rest of the figure is articulated. So he looks unbelievably out. Actually, these are sharp. These are really sharp. So he's unbelievably regal. Wow, I've never had a wired cloak before. So this is cool. Very nice. Wow, and we can see on the back side here, and I'm very interested in opening up all those extra pieces of him. So hopefully this is not a broken piece and they just left it on the side. And we have the pieces that we need here. So let's open this up off camera. Alright, we're back here. So unfortunately there was no extra piece in here for the shoulder. So I guess that this was just glued on. I would assume. It looks like it was just glued right onto here. Right? So I'll have to try glue it back on after this. But it feels like that. This is weird. It feels like there's a. No, this is weird. This is supposed to have something on the inside to allow this to turn. So that's weird. So I'll reach out to Loy and ask him about this. But in the meantime, let's look at some of the other pieces that he comes with, which is absolutely amazing. So he comes with, first thing is his amazing sword, which I have for Rabuti Gilliman. He gave it to Rabuti Gilliman, but the Sword of the Emperor. Wow. Absolutely great. And this thing is massive. So I have the other version of this, a smaller version, which we'll show you here in a second when we do a comparison, because I have them equipped with Dorn. But this is absolutely massive. I love the flame effect on this sword. It looks amazing. Let's get the Emperor moved over a little bit here. So here's the sword. Wow. And it's a bit heavy on the end because of the flames, but this looks amazing. Look at the size comparison too. He is... It's literally nearly the same size as the Emperor. Wow. This is crazy. This is awesome. And then we get the eagle, which fits onto his... behind his shoulders. So right up here, which is going to increase the size of him even more, which is crazy. So this fits in right there. Wow. Okay. And then this piece, where does this go? So here's his so this is awesome. This is what I was hoping, because I was a little worried about what I was going to do, because if you guys know me and know how I like to collect all of the Primarchs, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna have an unhelmeted head like with the rest of the Primarchs. But it was okay. I was like, well, it's the Emperor, it doesn't really matter. But he comes with a great sculpted head, and then they also came with a helmeted head, which I love. So thank you, Loy. I did not realize you guys were going to do this, but this looks awesome. Great helmeted head. Perfect. We have the laurels on the helm. Looks awesome. Wow. The deep gold is great. Great. I'm definitely going to have him equipped with the helmeted head once we figure out what's going on with the shoulder here. And then this iron halo, does this go on top of the I'm trying to figure out where this would go. Does this go on top of the eagle? This goes on top of the eagle, I think. Or does this go behind his head? It goes behind his head. Wow. I don't even know how you're going to fit this in here. But, okay. Yep, there we go. There we go. There is the Emperor of Mankind in all his glory, and then we're just going to have him holding his helm here. This is... wow, this is crazy. Unbelievable. The points, finger points are crazy sharp. The helm just gets lost in there. So unfortunately, the only negative part is this is the shoulder, which I don't understand. I believe it has supposed to have a peg that this is pegged onto, and yeah, I can't see where it is unless it's snapped off on the inside of there. And we'll have to ask Loy about this and figure out what to do, if there's a piece that I can put or something. And then the only other thing, oh, okay, so this comes off. So here is the piece that it's attached to. This is a hard piece of plastic. So I was a little bit worried that I was going to snap this off, but this fits right back onto the waist. And then we have our Emperor of Mankind again together. And like I said, the shoulder here is on a ball peg as well. So I would assume that this is the same thing here. Alright, and that's essentially the way he's supposed to look. That's crazy, dude. Absolutely amazing. So in the comments, let me know what you think. If you prefer the Emperor of Mankind with no helm or helm. I know what everybody's going to answer. At least I think I do. I think they're going to say with no helm with the head sculpt. It's actually a pretty cool head sculpt. But he looks amazing. Wow, the gold is so bright and shiny. I don't know if that's coming through on the camera, but it's absolutely amazing. So we're going to put the shoulder pad onto the side. We'll figure out that one breakage point. But I do want to throw his helmeted head on here. Wow, actually these come off pretty easily. Wow, no struggle to get them on and off. And here is his helmeted head. Wow. And then, I mean, this, you can just take this off. There's really no point once he has his helmet on. You're not going to see that iron halo behind him anyway. Wow, he is unbelievably massive. He is heavy enough, but he's not unwieldy heavy. I'll say that. We got the Emperor's head there. We got the iron halo here. We got the shoulder, which we'll figure it out. And we got his sword here. So he looks absolutely amazing, dude. I am, even with the breakage on the shoulder, which I'm sure we can figure something out, he looks amazing. Here he is with the shoulder. Wow. I love the helm. Definitely going to keep him helmeted. Definitely going to keep him helmeted. I'm going to have to find some art if this is actually in lore, or there's somebody who made art of him like this, because this looks crazy. Wow. Amazing. Now I can remake the scene of Horus and Sanguinius on the floor dead, and the Emperor of Mankind having him about to fight Horus in that very famous piece of artwork. So, wow. Absolutely amazing. So, let's do some comparisons with him. We're going to throw a Valdor in here first before we start to bring the Emperor's Sons, because I want to see the difference in gold and size here between these figures. So let us go. We'll be right back. Alright guys, and we're back. What's hysterical is I was a little bit worried about the Emperor's size. Looking at it, because I had taken Valdor and I had compared him to the package while he was still inside of it, just to see how tall that he would be, and I was like, oh, he's probably going to be a bit too tiny. But man, look at the size difference between... And Valdor isn't a slouch, dude, at all. Valdor is a pretty decently sized figure. So it looks absolutely amazing. And I want to do a quick comparison to show you guys how big this figure actually is. So we have Valdor here, and then we have the Emperor of Mankind, and then we have the... This is the new large Terminator, okay? This is not the small Terminators, okay? And we're going to bring him over a little bit. We'll let your shoulders rest there. It kind of bums me out with that shoulder, but again, it's a custom piece, and I'm sure we're going to figure out something. So here's Valdor, who's huge. And then we get the larger new Terminator, right? And then we're going to bring because he's famous at this point, we're going to bring Vampire Ken, which is the smaller Terminator, right? Which you saw if you saw that video of all of the Blood Angel figures that I did a review on. So here is Vampire Ken. This is still a pretty decent sized figure. This is the smallest Terminator that we have. Then we go to the newest, larger Terminator. Then we go to Valdor with the upgraded helm. So it's the larger helm on him. And then we go to a completely different scale of the Emperor. And so this makes me very excited for the upcoming, when we start to break out the other figures and we start to do some of the comparisons. So let's go over to those. Let's start to bring out some of his sons. Alright, guys. So we're going to start off with Guilliman, which he looks like a tiny figure in comparison. It's so funny. Guilliman looks like a tiny Warhammer figure. He looks like a little boy with his father. It is crazy how large this Emperor of Mankind figure is. Oh my god. And then we'll throw Dorn in here, and we were talking a little bit before about the sword that I got from Cool Toys Club / Wog Toys, which is the Emperor's sword here. And I have to actually glue this on. This one keeps coming off his power pack of Dorn. So here's Dorn, the Emperor of Mankind, standing side by side, and we'll get his sword out of his hand here. So I want to do a comparison between the two swords as well. So both of these swords, the Emperor's swords, actually all three of them, this is the official one by JOYTOY. So this is the one that came with Guilliman. This is the one I bought from Wog Toys individually, right? And this is still a pretty awesome sword. A little bit not as thick as this version. So here we go, and then we have the I guess when different people pick the different items up from Warhammer, they get to a different size. And then here is the Emperor of Mankind sword that he came with the other version from Wog Toys. Again, the swords are crazy. The flame effects are awesome on both of these swords. What's funny is this is a little bit weightier, but this is actually a pretty heavy sword because of how much flame is on the back of it. So, or how much flame in total is on it, even though this is thicker when we go from a side view like this. But these are the two swords. Wow. And again, you can see with Dorn, right, and we can see his two sons. We got Guilliman, we got Dorn. Just how big this Emperor of Mankind figure is. And again, it's not, I can confirm that this is not a McFarlane reused buck, which is what I was thinking they were going to do. But this is a brand new, like, this is definitely a 3D printed buck. And it's crazy how regal, shiny gold this figure actually is. So, yeah, so this gives you an idea of how big he is with Guilliman and Dorn. So, absolutely crazy. Look at that. Alright, so next two sons that we're going to compare him to is going to be two of my favorites. And that's going to be the Lion, which is, in my view, one of the best JOYTOY figures ever created. And then Alfurus, which is... I also have Omegagon, I just haven't opened him up yet. So, Omegagon, we'll call him Omega Alfurus, because we don't know which version of this is. So, again, Alfurus is on the smaller side, right? You can see the size of how big the Lion is. And let me just fix the Alfurus chest. And we can see how big Alfurus is. And holy crap. These look like little figures. Like, these look like little JOYTOY figures. What's funny is I'm going to get one of the sisters in here, because I want to do a size comparison between the Emperor and one of the sisters. So, it's crazy. So, again, the Lion, this is supposed to be the Emperor's shield. This would be too small for him, because it magically transforms in size. But again, we can see just how big the Emperor figure is. Wow. Alright, so we got Alfurus here. Okay. Next is going to be, we're going to bring the next two Loyalist sons. We're going to bring, and by the way, you can see I have all of the figures with their special the helmeted versions. You can get these from WOG Toys, and I love having these helmets. So we got Lehman Russ of the Space Wolves here, and then we're gonna have to bring his wings in because we got the Golden Boy himself and the Angel Sanguinius. So again, this one is going to have another WOG Toys custom helm on here, but this one was courtesy of our new co-host on our show, Blake. So again, you can see the gold.
I love gold.
Wow. Looking at the mirror, looking at the picture that I'm seeing as I'm taping this, he is so huge. The Emperor is massive, and I was really worried about him not being big enough next to the other Primarchs. He is going to be standing out by himself easily, hands down. So here we go with Lehman Russ and Sanguinius, and again I'll be able to make that really famous picture of Sanguinius dead at the feet of the Emperor throne, and then with Horus on one side as well as the Emperor on the other side. Alright, so final comparisons. These are the two big boys, and these are the two largest as far as width and as far as height. And I'm very interested to see how big, especially because I have this crazy custom helm on Magnus. So we'll get Magnus in here. So here's Magnus compared to his father. And Magnus is very comparable in size, especially with that head. This crazy head adds about 4 or 5 inches onto the figure. But even with this crazy head, Emperor is still larger than his tallest son, or one of his tallest sons. Him and Vulcan, I think, are the tie. And then we get the Trader himself with the custom head from WOG Toys. Wow, and we got Horus. Look at that. We're gonna have to get Magnus out of here in a second because we're gonna have to just compare the two of these. But this just gives you an idea of the scale of some of these figures compared to this custom Emperor figure. And if we're ever going to get one from JOYTOY officially, I would assume so, but we're going to have to get the miniature first. So that's going to take a little bit of time before we get that. So now, here we go. Here is the big Horus Heresy showdown between the Emperor of Mankind and his favored son until Horus decided to go rogue. And again, width-wise, it's very impressive. And anybody who has Horus knows how impressive this figure actually is. Very impressive, dude. Super impressive. Just the scale of this custom Emperor. And Horus is just one of the best figures that JOYTOY has produced for this line. Looks absolutely amazing. I'm still impressed every time I see Horus. Dude, look at this is what I'm talking about, the custom, while the articulated fingers on the claws, right? Here's the claw of Horus, and unfortunately no articulated claws on the Emperor. But I mean, it's a custom figure, so we can't have everything. But wow, absolutely amazing. This is a great shot. I can't wait to get some custom pictures of both of these guys in here. The amount of photography I could do with these two is going to be crazy. So, alright, so we're going to try to do all of the sons and their father in one picture. I don't think we're going to be able to do it, especially with how big Sanguinius's wings are. But we're going to try. Alright guys, so this is the best I could do with this. Shit, I got them mostly in there, right? I think Gilliman's head is a bit cut off, so is Dorn. But for the most part, we got them all in there. Such a happy family picture. Thank God this was done before we got Angron, which should be coming in like a week or so. Or at least shipping in a week. And if I had Angron, this would be absolutely impossible. That's another figure that's going to be absolutely massive when compared to the current figures. So this is crazy. So I'm super happy that I got this again. The only drawback to this is the fact that the Emperor's shoulder will figure out something to do with this. I am so happy that he came with a helmeted head. It looks amazing. So one more thing I want to show you. Let's compare him to some of the sisters as well as my favorite chapter. the Grey Knights. So let's go. Okay, so we're back, guys. So yeah, so I wanted to do a quick comparison between the Emperor of Mankind and my Grey Knights. So we got Caldor Dragor here, right here. We got the new Castellan and Garen Crow, which came out, not new, but the reissue, which fixed some of the issues we had as far as the loose backpack. And then we have the Order of the Argent Shroud Sisters, and then we have the regular Sisters of Battle. So the sisters are so tiny. We're going to pull Caldor Dragor out of here because I want to show just how much bigger the Emperor of Mankind is and his brides. Or I don't know, are they considered still the brides now? I don't know if they're brides anymore of the Emperor. I think that's over. But let's look really quickly at the size. So we're going to take the size. This is it's not even the same species, right? Look at this. Look at the size difference between this custom Emperor and the two sisters. And again, even standing shoulder on shoulder, they're still not comparable to the size of the Emperor. Isn't that crazy? So the Argent Shroud and the regular Sister of Battle, or the Sister of Battle, it's crazy how I was really worried that this was not going to be large enough for some of the other figures, but he is absolutely towering over everybody. So let's get some front view. Let's see some pictures from the front view, and we'll take it from there. All right, guys. So we're back here now. A front view of the Emperor of Mankind figure. Quite impressive. I threw his normal unhelmeted head on here because I know a lot of people are really going to want to see that version of the Emperor. In my display, he'll have his helmeted head on all the time, so it's nice to see what he looks like here. So we're going to bring again in each one of his sons so you can get a size comparison from a front facing view just to see what he looks like. We have Dorn and we have Guilliman. Again, you can see the impressive size of this custom Emperor of Mankind figure. I threw his unhelmeted head on here because in my display he will always have the helmeted head on there with those wreaths around the top of his head in green, and you can see his custom head on the ground right by his feet. Really awesome figure. I also tried to glue the shoulder pad back on there, but unfortunately it did not work. So yes, so we're gonna have to reach out to Loy, and I'm sure that they're going to work out something and help me fix this issue that I have with this figure, because I believe it's just missing a peg that's supposed to be attached to the shoulder pad, the shoulder and the shoulder pad itself. So again, yeah, these look awesome. All right, next two of his sons in here, we got Lehman Russ and the Lion, and again, Lion is a little bit more front facing, and the Emperor's a little bit crouched over to the left, but you can see the impressive size of this Emperor figure as well as the regal gold of the figure itself. So all right, so we have those two in there. Let's get the next two. So our next setup is going to be the famous picture of Sanguinius being defeated at the feet of Horus at the Golden Throne. So again, these very impressive. I am shocked again at seeing the height of the Emperor. He looks awesome. Again, the comparison between Horus and Sanguinius. By the way, I had to pull the camera back a little bit because damn Sanguinius's wings are so huge and they're so heavy. You have to have him on the flight stand that he comes with, and that's not a normal flight stand. That is a special flight stand specifically for him from Cool Toys Club. So again, very impressive here. Horus looks amazing. Sanguinius looks amazing. Both have their custom heads from WOG Toys on, their helmeted heads, and then we got the Emperor of Mankind in the middle, looking quite regal and awesome. And even with the flight stand of Sanguinius in his flight pose, you can see that the Emperor of Mankind is so tall. So tall, even when against Horus in his Terminator armor. This is quite a towering figure. So very impressive, and I'm super happy with this. Alright guys, let's get to the final set of sons. Alright, so now we have his final set of sons. We have Alfurius and we have Magnus. And again, Magnus is massive, especially with that custom head by WOG Toys. Alfierius came with his helm. I'm actually kicking myself now because I have another Alfierius slash Omega gun, and that would have looked awesome with each of his twin suns flanking either side of it. Magnus is huge. He's humongous. He's tall. Yeah, especially with that custom head, it looks quite amazing. So again, you can see just the size of the Emperor and how gold that armor is compared to Magnus. So yeah, so very impressive. Again, I'm just kicking myself because I should have had Alfierius and Omegagon in this picture. So, alright guys, let's go on to the next one. Alright guys, and we're back. So again, now we have some of the more normal size figures here. We have the sisters, we have the Order of the Argent Shroud, as well as a standard sister and Battle Sister, and we also have one of the Mechanicum. So again, these are the standard human-sized figures, so you can see just how massive and tall the Emperor of Mankind is supposed to be. Again, there's some, you know, some mystery as to actually how tall the Emperor is or how big he is. This is just a projection of him to his to normal humans, and they can't really see. It's just an illusion. And he's a normal sized human. I don't know, but this looks awesome, and this is the way that I envision the Emperor of Mankind, especially as part of my collection, being pretty much the centerpiece of what I have. Even with the Imperial Knight that I have and the two Nemesis Dread Knights, as well as all the other Dreadnoughts and Dreadnought and Siege Dreadnoughts that I have. So again, we're going to have Angron in a couple weeks, so that is going to be quite impressive to see him in comparison to his father. Alright guys, we're back. So of course we had to have the Emperor with his entire bodyguard contingent. So we have all the Custodes, the 30k. I also have to throw one 40k figure in there, one of my favorite with the dual wielding power swords, and we also got one of the sisters on the bottom as well. So again, awesome contingent of figures, really a great idea of the scale of this custom Emperor of Mankind figure, as well as you can see Valdor over there on the side of the Emperor, and he has the updated helm from WOG Toys, which makes him even a little bit taller, except for his back piece that's shooting up. But he's got that custom helm, so looks awesome. Again, super impressive. Very impressed with the size of this overall Emperor figure of Mankind. And if Henry Cavill's watching this, you get to see your Custodes in comparison to him. So here he is with his bodyguards. So we've got the Emperor of Mankind in all his glory. Finally, we can see the entire figure from the back side to the front side. Again, that cape, I'm really happy with the satin red overall. It's a wired cape. His Emperor's sword on fire is super impressive. I am very happy that they came with the armored head of the Emperor, because what the hell was I going to do? He was going to be the only one to not have a helm, and all of his sons would. The only problem that I have with this figure is the shoulder piece. I believe it's missing a peg, so I'll reach out to Cool Toys Club / WOG Toys and Loy, see what they can do to help me out. But overall, this is a very, very impressive figure. I am super happy to have him as part of my collection, and yeah, that is pretty much it. I'm super happy. Let's get a little bit of a dimmed out look as well here. Very impressed overall with the Emperor of Mankind figure, like I said before. Couple of little issues here and there. Again, I'll reach out to Loy from Cool Toys Club to get that shoulder fixed as well. I think I'm just missing a peg, so hopefully they can shoot that out to me. And again, overall, great figure, centerpiece of my collection. I am super happy with them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this review of the custom Emperor of Mankind for JOYTOY. Perfectly in scale, in my opinion, even with the larger scale that we're starting to see some of the figures. This version of the Emperor is towering over everything. So I am super happy with this. Again, guys, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. Be sure to be on the lookout for the review of Angron, which is coming up, as well as a bunch of other reviews, as well as gaming stuff that I do live. Alright guys, I'm Wraith. I'm out, guys.